President Tinubu yesterday described the reprisal attacks in the wake of recent communal clashes in Plateau and Benue states as depressing, needless and avoidable. Tinubu directed security agencies to bring to book the perpetrators of the killings in Mangu local government area of Plateau State and parts of Benue State, insisting that the suspects must face the full weight of the law, while reaffirming his government's strong determination to stamp out violent crimes and all forms of criminality everywhere in Nigeria. Tinubu said the cycle of violence must be dismantled in the country. The president's pronouncement came as the House of Representatives mandated Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun IGP, and National Security Advisor, NSA Nuhu Ribadu, to investigate the recent killings in Plateau State and ensure culprits were brought to book. In Benue State, the governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Halia, reiterated his administration's readiness to grant amnesty to repentant criminals. Halia voiced his displeasure over the recent killings in Apuna area of Ukum local government area of the state. Dr. Bati, a lot to talk about this, yeah.
Well, I mean, we keep having this challenge with insecurity in the country. And now we have a new administration. We started again with the same narrative about, oh, the culprits will be brought to book. In Magu local government area of Plateau State, about 300 persons were killed. And the people who went to, inflict that injury on the people, even served notice. They informed the traditional ruler and they still went ahead. Nobody could stop them. In Plateau State, about 30 persons were killed in Apuna. So in the whole of that axis, this challenge of insecurity. And at the same time, in other parts of the country, in the southeast and elsewhere, including the Niger Delta, we keep getting reports of a cycle of violence that has become repetitive in our country. Well, after a fashion, President Tinubu has also said he's determined to end the cycle. And as we always say, that the perpetrators will be brought to book. And he has charged the relevant agencies of government and the service chiefs to know that they have their work cut out for them. But, as he pointed out, of course, it's depressing, it's most unfortunate, it's most regrettable, because when you look at it, we're talking about human lives. Apart from the 300 persons that were killed in Magu local government area, in Riyom area of Plateau State, about 18,000 persons were displaced. So we have in that part of the country also this continuing challenge of internally displaced persons. But the more important part of it is the point made by the House of Representatives that what is being violated is the right of the citizen to life. Because the Constitution, as members of the House of Representatives pointed out, requires government to ensure the security and welfare of the people. And when the government fails in that regard, then it means that there is still a lot more to be done. So you find the House of Reps joining the president in this regard. But the only difference is that the House of Representatives members are asking that the insecurity situation in parts of the country must be declared a national emergency. Well, it is indeed, even without any declaration, a national emergency, a country where people cannot go to farms, cannot go about their normal businesses, cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. They have to keep a weapon beside them. One lawmaker from Plateau State was recommending self-help, that it has reached a point where the people have to help themselves if the state cannot come to their rescue. So President Tinubu saying, this will be addressed, with great determination by his administration is in order. Beyond all of this, of course, part of the story coming out is that the governor of Plateau State, of Benue State, Reverend Father Halia, is saying that his administration is ready to grant amnesty to militants, bandits who are ready to lay down their arms. Well, I know that Reverend Father Halia is a priest, and it's part of Christian eschatology, to have a forgiving spirit. When they slap you on one side of your face, you turn the other cheek and you get slapped again. I think, as part of, redefining, reviewing the process of engaging these bandits, maybe we have to go beyond this issue of granting amnesty to people. people who kill, people who destroy. I think more effort should probably be devoted to making sure that these persons are apprehended as the president has directed. And that when they are apprehended, they are, again, as the president has said, made to face the full wrath of the law. So Reverend Father Alia, when he goes to church on Sunday, can preach about, forgiveness and all of that. But in this matter, we probably need to change the strategy a little bit. Part of the reports further indicated that the governors of Enugu State and the governor of Kaduna State went to meet, two service chiefs. The governor of Enugu State went to visit the naval headquarters, where he was asking for help from the military to come and assist, to addressing security in the southeast, and particularly in Enugu State. And he was reassured, by the chief of naval staff, Ogala, that he could be sure, he could rely on the support of the military. By the same token, the governor of Kaduna State, Governor Sani, went to visit the army headquarters. And again, it was reassured by the chief of army staff that, the military will do whatever it can to address the insecurity situation in the southern Kaduna area of the state, and also deploy more troops as the governor requested. So maybe perhaps with the presidency, the governors, members of the House of Representatives speaking up, and all of us as citizens expressing concern and insisting on the right to life and the responsibility of government. Maybe indeed, with all this meeting of minds that we have seen, the Tinubu administration, with the right political will and the determination that he keeps talking about, will be able to move the needle and make this country a safer place for all of us.
So, I'm quite very sad about what is happening in our country. Jos to Benue, even the southeast. This should not be our lot in Nigeria. There's so much bloodshed like never been seen before. Our rivers now flow with a lot of blood. From the blood of an 8-month-old child from Plateau to the blood of innocent people in the southeast, to killings and kidnappings everywhere. This is not the Nigeria we envisage, and this is not the Nigeria we want. And that's why our leaders should not just make pronouncements. We should see action. President Tinubu has the right, as president, to call on the military heads to do the needful and ensure the full weight of the law is brought on these people. And he should do that. Our state is in crisis as we speak. The killings in Mangu are really, really abhorrent. Another thing the president should do is I think he should call the Plateau State governor, because also this is politically slanted, like our guest said yesterday. All of a sudden, the attacks on Mangu started after April, and the governor had been speaking about this. I think the president should call on the governor to come and brief him more and name some of the actors in this, so that we can have an end to this once and for all. And the National Security Advisors should hold it strong. We must end whatever is going on permanently in the Plateau. Because in the last 10, 20 years, almost every area of the Plateau have been inundated with crisis. From Riyom to other local government areas, to other parts. Even in Benue, this had been going on since the time of the former governor. The former governor, Autumn, had to even set up a local vigilante team. But apparently killing shows that these people are a lot more powerful. And we can't have people that are more powerful than the state, actors that are more powerful than the state. And that's why I keep begging in Nigerian states. There are some non-state actors that are currently running their mouth everywhere. Let's not embolden them. Let's be careful. Because we are quickly building a Frankenstein in the name of making peace with non-state actors. And when it boomerangs on all of us. We shouldn't have a country where we celebrate militants. Please, President Tinubu, stamp your authority. Let peace be restored to the Plateau. Let peace be restored to Benue. Let peace be restored to the Southeast. Let peace reign in every part of Nigeria. Let our rivers of blood be turned into rivers of milk and honey. This country is great. And let its greatness show forth and shine forth to every corners of the earth. Enough of the killings. Enough of the bloodshed. Enough of the horror. We'll take your word for it, President Tinubu, but we want to see action. And we'll pray that you get it done. We can't continue to have this in our land. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, yesterday said he deserves some commendation despite working for Senator Ahmed Lawan in the run-up to the party's presidential primaries, even if only for the fact that he, Adamu, presided over the victory of President Bola Tinubu. Speaking on Arise Television last night, Adamu stated that the rumored differences between him and the president were founded, pointing out that before the emergence of Tinubu, he had the right to support whoever he wanted. He stated that he was also misrepresented about his position on the recently elected principal officers of the National Assembly, saying that what the issues the APC had was that the manner of communication was handled by the lawmakers. Also, chairmen of the APC across the state have passed a vote of confidence in Adamu and the party's National Working Committee. Adamu was a guest on Primetime and he spoke, among other things, about the conflicts within the party.
It is true, and I don't take that back, I don't deny the fact that at the time that I made a presentation to the National Working Committee, yes, the name of the distinguished senator, or the Senate President, as he then was, Ahmed Lawan, was proposed for the presidency. That was before the convention. So many things took place between then and the actual date of the convention. And once he was nominated at the convention, unanimously, and I was there, I led the convention as chairman of the party. A day after the convention, we went to I took the entire Boston National Working Committee to his residence in Asokoro here in Abuja, and assured him of our support. We assured him we will stay shoulder to shoulder with him. We'll do everything that we can to ensure that this mandate that the party has given him, is sold properly, effectively, to the general public, the general population, and the general electorate. We did so when we started the campaigns. We went all around with him. We faced the election. I was privileged to lead the party right up to the end of the election, and we delivered a successful election in favor of our great party, the APC. We are the winners. Now, instead of appreciation, instead of showing understanding, and maybe, if you permit the word, even praise for what we've done, rather we're vilified. This is the time for people to say, it's not happening. They want the account. They want the annual, annual account of the party. They want this, they want that kind of stuff. I was taken aback because, you see, if nothing else, I expect my fellow countrymen, in good faith, no matter their political persuasion, say, yes, at least we led this party to success. Who can't wish that away? We have a president, he's inaugurated, he has commenced his administration, and he has hit the road running. Both well-meaning Nigerians and supporters of the party and our president have been full of praise for the performance of our president. We, as APC, produce him. I have had the privilege of leading that. And I have not had any period of misunderstanding with him since the convention, since he was elected. Now, every political party anywhere in the world, before a convention in a presidential system, you can hold an opinion. Why not? Every one of us is free to so do. But once the party decides this is it, every member of the party, a lower party, follows. And that's the process. We are no exception. That's what we in Nigeria. But some people decide to make that a soft selling point and something to hit at me as an individual. that's left to them. I know what I'm doing. And for your information, I have enjoyed a good working relationship with President Ahmed Tinubu GSFR since his inauguration to date. In fact, since his election, there's nothing I went to him to talk to that I didn't give his attention or didn't share my thoughts, effectively on whatever matter it is I took before him as chairman of the national of the APC. So these are people who are just trading on gossips, trading on, trying to create bad blood between me and my president. He is more than that. He is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am privileged to be the chairman of the ruling party today. And between me and you, if I don't accept for any reason my president, I will not hesitate to work to him.
Dr. Batu?
Well, anyway, very interesting. Every chairman of a political party that wins an election will expect, indeed, as Senator Abdullahi Adamu pointed out, to be commended, because he will say it was under his watch he mobilized the party structures. After all, the other day, he was meeting with APC chairmen from across the country. So in that regard, that was his lizard moment to the extent that the Agama lizard says, if nobody will praise me, I will raise my head and shake my head and praise myself. So that is praise for myself, or Nomamela's advertisement for myself, coming from Senator Abdullahi Adamu. And nobody can argue with that. Under his watch, the party won the election. But there are certain other things that he said. He talked about his right to choose. Okay, that again, nobody can question that. Then he also made the point that he's a party man. He may have chosen to promote Senator Ahmad Lawan, but the moment the party chose President Tinubu as the candidate of the party, he mobilized the National Working Committee and the organs of the party to ensure his victory. Well, I'm sure that President Tinubu and President Tinubu's handlers must have had him, and he has tried to clear the air in that regard. However, there are some other details that he may need to provide more information, maybe in subsequent interviews. That Ahmad Lawan, attempt and all that, did he, of his own volition, decide to promote Ahmad Lawan, or he was encouraged to do so by the former president? There must be some inside stories behind that. Many political analysts would like to know. Two, he said he was misrepresented in terms of his reaction to the emergence of principal officers of the National Assembly. Okay, we have heard that. He said also that he was misrepresented and that he never said that the governor of Ondo State is now currently extremely incapacitated, as he was quoted in the reports. Well, it's becoming more and more, the fashion for political leaders to say they were misrepresented. So what exactly did he say? Because we tried to discuss this issue yesterday, and we said, what does he mean by extreme incapacitation? The Constitution of Nigeria explains how a sitting governor or a sitting president or deputy governor or vice president can be, determined as being incapacitated. It's not party chairman making such a pronouncement, but he has walked back that particular point. But if he's still on, if he was recorded at that meeting, it shouldn't be surprised if people come forward with what exactly he said. But there is a lesson here for politicians generally to just be careful. This is the age of technology, of internet, of hyperactive phones. Even the smallest phones these days can record, can take pictures. Just be careful what you say, so that you don't always have to come and say, I was misquoted. These journalists are the ones who misrepresented me. Just pay more attention to public communication. Finally, two more things. The chairman of the APC says that he's confident that President Tinubu will get a second term. We just started the first term. They started campaigning for second term. Please, can we all just focus on this agenda that President Tinubu has for Nigeria in this first term? And then on the basis of that, we can begin to talk about second term. I think it's too early. The party chairman of APC is probably jumping the gun. It's the Nigerian people that will decide. It's not the chairman of APC that will proclaim a second term into existence. And finally, He said he would be glad to welcome the G5, led by former Governor Nyesom Wike, into the APC fold. Well, I don't think anybody will be surprised if former Governor Wike and his allies decide to go into the APC, where, as the chairman of APC says, they will be welcomed with open arms. And maybe the PDP will probably say good riddance, considering, the damage that the G5, and that group generally did to the PDP in the just concluded 2023 general elections.
Couple of things. Number one, truth is, how can a party chairman even be supporting a side? He has a right to choose, but since he's party chairman, you should not be seen supporting any side. Exactly what damaged the PDP today. When a party chairman, although gone now, welcomed another candidate in the after the primaries and said, you are the hero of the primaries. Exactly what damaged the PDP. How can he come out and support a particular aspirant? Number two, in good conscience, how can he support another northern candidate after 8 years of a northern candidate? Third point, all the things he did recently and he's now backtracking. He said they didn't communicate with him. He should know that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the party leader as we speak today. If decisions were taken between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the lawmakers and National Working Committee, you should fall in line. So those are the 3 points I'm going to ask him to interpret. As a party leader, you're not supposed to take any side. But even if you are taking a side with Ahmed Lawan in good conscience, after 8 years of a northern candidate, then you say you are taking a side with another northern candidate. So if Ahmed Lawan had emerged, you would think it's good to promote democracy and fairness for 16 years or for another 4 years of another northern candidate? Is that how they do things? And by the way, please, did this party chairman of the APC that brags about the APC victory so much, did he win his states? These are the questions I just like to put to him. Did he win his states? I rest my case.